Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to AFC Bournemouth Analysis. Here's my take on our entertaining 1-1 draw with Southampton. It was a far improved performance from midweek against Burnley, where we looked completely lethargic and flat, and although we only scored one goal in that game and we only scored one goal this weekend, the difference between the two games in terms of our attacking was very stark in a good way. We looked far more proactive, far more movement from the midfield. Lewis Cook finally got a game, and yeah, the whole team functioned much better. The midfield was linking up with the strikers and defence and so on, especially in the first half. So we looked a lot better going forward on the wings. Ryan Fraser played on one side and Stanislas played on the other, and they were a marked improvement on Mark Pugh and Jordan Ibe as well. Really contributing a lot, linking the play a lot. The whole team just functioned a lot better, and it was a very entertaining game, and I think a draw was about the right result. But it was a positive step in the right direction after Wednesday. As I mentioned, the first half was very good, but the second half saw Southampton far more in the ascendancy. And part of this was our failure to adapt to their system change, because they changed to 3 up top with Redmond as part of a front 3, and we just couldn't deal with that. And we just didn't adapt, and they kept attacking, and eventually it was pretty obvious they were going to score. And in fact, it looked like on the 70-minute mark that they were going to score a winner. It just seemed inevitable. So unfortunately we managed to tighten it up a bit and create some chances at the other end, but I don't think that was anything to do with Eddie Howe changing formation or anything. So that happened against Southampton last season as well, where we went 1-0 up and then they changed it at half time and we didn't get to grips with it and they ran out easy winners. So it's a step up that we didn't lose in the same way this time, but I feel like our failure to adapt to the change, to quite a simple change, was a real problem, because our right side of our defence was constantly under siege and was a real weak spot. They just ran into space, and often Francis was left exposed as the right-sided centre-back. So that's something that Eddie Howe needs to look into, especially for games later this month, where if we're like level pegging with the bigger teams in this division, unlikely as that might seem now, a small change like that and a failure to adapt could see us lose like a vital point. So it's important that we learn to adapt to situations that change. The whole Adam Smith dive fiasco was probably the ugliest element of the game. It caused quite a lot of controversy, a surprising amount actually. I'm surprised to see so many, focuses on it in match reports and stuff. It looked like it was a penalty, but Smith was on his way down while he was being taken out, so I can see why there was confusion about it not being given, about being given. It's obviously disappointing for it not to be given, but what's even more disappointing is that Adam Smith was booked and will now miss a very important game against Palace, and the player he would have been up against is Zaha, a player he's done okay against in the past. And that means that Francis now has to take on Zaha, which is something I'm not really looking forward to. And that could be the ugly element of the next game's match report, to be honest. So the whole Smith fiasco was a bit ugly. Fraser's finish for our goal was probably the best moment. Pretty cliche choosing the goal, but it just showed what we were missing from our wingers in previous games, an end product. And it was a good play from King to bully the centre-back into an error, and then he passed it across, Sermon pushed it across, and Fraser finished brilliantly first time past Forster, who just couldn't get down because he's too big, bless him. A couple of you have been in touch on Twitter, so thanks so much for that. And the first was AFCB Bob, who said, "Nice to see Stan back, Cook and Sermon good together in the middle, needed a Phobe instead of Defoe up top to hold the ball up. A draw was a fair result." A draw was definitely a fair result. There could be cases made for both sides winning, but I think overall, definitely a draw was fair. And I agree about Afobe as well. I think Afobe works better with King as a partnership. I don't think we've got a perfect striking partnership duo actually up top. I think the choice not to choose King and Defoe at any real point this season is a bit confusing, especially as I think Afobe would have probably been better against the likes of Van Dijk. That said, at the end, Afobe did go up for a header with Van Dijk and got out-jumped by what seemed about 20 feet. But yeah, I think Afobe needs to... I'm surprised he didn't start. I'm not surprised that Wilson didn't start, because 3 games in a week for a guy coming back from 2 ACL injuries, it's not going to be easy. So yeah, I imagine it was quite a tight decision for Eddie Howe to choose between Afobe and Defoe. And yeah, I can imagine Afobe will probably get some more minutes in the coming weeks, as we have quite a bit of a fixture backlog over December. And next, AFCB Jamie, also on Twitter, got in touch, and he sent me 3 tweets. I can't read all of that out, so I boiled it down a bit. I hope that's alright, Jamie. And he said, think today's first half performance was much better than recent weeks. Ref a disgrace, has to give the penalty for that, and if players can be retrospectively punished, referees should be made to referee lower league, not just be a 4th official. Second half, they played well and deserved their goal. I would have liked to seen us bring on Arta in a midfield 3 to help out. Should have been proactive in trying to change the course of the game, but that's the only criticism. Need a result at Palace with the games afterwards. I get a lot to take on there, but yeah, the refereeing decision was obviously disappointing in retrospect. At the time, I wasn't really sure if it was a dive, because, you know, Adam Smith, he does like a tumble. But yeah, they definitely deserved a goal, and I think obviously if that penalty was at 1-0 and we would have gone 2-0 up, maybe I'd feel a bit differently about it, but as it stands, it would have been 1-0, so who knows if we would have got the second goal anyway. Yeah, and I agree about being proactive. I think I touched upon that. We definitely needed to see it was pretty obvious that Southampton were causing us chaos down the wings. We should have done more to stymie that, but we didn't. And yeah, and finally, yeah, I agree about the Palace thing. The Palace game is a very big game, seeing as after that I think we've got Man United away, Liverpool at home, and Man City away. And then sandwiched in between that is a Chelsea Cup game, but we'll play the reserves in that, so it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, getting a result at Palace is very important, but I think it's important that we got a result here. It's something to build on. If we lose at Palace, all that good work is undone though, especially with the upcoming fixtures. But I think if we play like that and we get the first goal at Palace, we can get a point or maybe even a win, who knows. But yeah, that's all for this video. I went on a bit there, apologies. But yeah, do get involved in AFCB analysis by following on Facebook and Twitter. The URLs are here, and contributing before and after matches. Let me know your thoughts, and you can get included in the Have Your Say section. I also write for Yahoo Sport, and my latest post is on Ryan Fraser, and the link to that is in this video's description, so please do read that as well. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. There might be a link here, hopefully. And yeah, thanks again so much for watching, and up the cherries in all departments.